Hey, what's up guys? This is Philip. Hey, today we are sitting in Project Tokyo Drift. That would be our 2003 Nissan 350Z. The car died in town a couple days ago, and we're trying to figure out why it quit running and how to fix it. So, give a little bit of background. My son was driving the car. It started running rough. A whole bunch of lights came on, service engine light, and then it just ceased to operate. So I can crank the car over. Cranks over easily. However, it does not start. There's some good information as far as what to check. For example, the security light. That security light will be up here, right here on the dashboard. I'm pointing to it. If that light is locked in the on position, that tells you that the chip in your key isn't working properly, and therefore the security system's disabling the start. However, unless you just changed your key or your steering wheel or mess with something, the likelihood of that happening is probably pretty small. All right, so for our diagnostics today, we're using the Autel MX808 computer. I originally bought this to use on my BMW. However, I realized it will work for all makes and models. So it'll erase codes, but I bought it because, for example, BMWs, you need to measure the transmission temperature in real time while you're filling it so that you get the proper fluid level. Same with Toyotas. And I used it on both Toyota Avalon and a BMW 3 Series, and it worked flawlessly. We're using it on the 350Z today to see if we can get an idea of what might be the part that failed. It does work on the brand new Nissan Zs as well, even though they have, I was surprised. I plugged it in and it said I had a locked ECU. And then this computer asked me if I would like to unlock the ECU. I was like, yes, please. And it was like, okay, give us a 1 minute to make it so, and it did. I really do like this computer. Wasn't too crazy. I think it was around the $500 price. Ran through all my diagnostic codes. The only code I got this time was the fact I don't have an airbag. So what I did is I've gone into live data. I went down to engine speed. I want to see if it's picking up RPM. I have hooked this car up previously to a battery tender. You want to do that because I've had the car on for quite a while on battery power, and now I'm cranking it. And if you don't have it on a battery tender, you are going to murder your battery. But let's see what happens when we crank it. Okay, aside from the obvious that the car didn't start, I could see my base fuel schedule changed, but I could see my engine speed, my RPM actually went up to 200. So I do know that that crankshaft position sensor is picking up the fact that crankshaft's rotating. The most likely scenario is going to be to change these cam position sensors once again, because we changed them in the past, and it's a very common part to go out. And once you change it, the aftermarket ones just, they don't seem to work as good. Stand by, and hey, if nothing else, we're going to learn how to change camshaft position sensors on a Nissan 350Z. So we're going to be changing the camshaft position sensors on the 350Z. There's two of them. They're held in place by a single 10mm bolt on each side, and both of them are on the back side of the cylinder head. So I got a couple slightly willing assistants that are going to be helping with the work today. But hey, let's get these things changed out and see if we can get this stupid car to start. Alright, so first thing first is we're going to be taking the air intake tube off. That's going to be the easiest way to get to the driver's side position sensor, which is located underneath our intake. Alright, so we've unbolted the cold air intake, and then we're taking the vacuum line off the bottom. And that's going to give us enough room to be able to wrench our hands underneath, because the cam position sensor is actually located back under here. We'll be able to see it better on the passenger side. So I'm going to get down here. I want to show where this sensor is. So here's my finger behind the intake. You can see me wiggling it. There is a electrical plug. It's green in color. So right now I am now touching. This is where my electrical connector is. So it's going to be real hard to film, but it's a push-pull connector. So you push it in and then it pulls out, but it's held on by one 10mm bolt. So we'll get that bolt undone and get this pulled out. So this driver's side is much more difficult to remove than the passenger. And then you can tell the driver's side, or the bank one, I believe is which one it is. The connector, it doesn't come straight out, it bends at a 45.
There we go. So yeah, the bolt there is definitely by just feel. I don't know why. Pull it out like so.
It's like on camera you can see all the little wires moving, but it's like hard to see.
All right, there we go.
Oh, sweetness.
Out it is.
All right. So on that one, once again, that's how you can tell the difference between the driver and the passenger. So you see how that one's angled 45 degrees.
This one isn't angled. What the fuck?
What did you?
It's a different color too.
Or you grabbed the wrong?
So
Yeah, you grabbed the wrong one, dumbass. That's why I label these things. Yeah, let's take the crank sensor and the camshaft and see how that works.
Take your ass back to school, bro. You failed.
Like, good job. Good job there, Squid.
It's not my fault you put them
Don't make me drop the
together.
camera. You can't afford that. Yeah, there we go.
There we go. 45
All right. So, pro tip. Grab the correct part and it will work better. Jeez, this dude. I literally labeled them.
It's not my fault to put the stuff there. Okay.
This comes from someone that just graduated high school with honors, I might add.
There we go. All right. You got it worked in.
Okay.
Lined up. There we go. All right.
Up. I love it. And then when watching this video, all they're seeing is like your intake. Like.
I mean,
So you can tell from the at-home crowd, unless I'm using a borescope, it's this is a job done by feel.
the best way to get it is definitely on the opposite side of the throttle body.
Right.
Because I don't, unless you want to take off a bunch of stuff. I mean, probably
So I guess you could argue you really don't need to take the intake off to do this, but
don't. I would say you could probably get to both of these things without taking any of the intake off.
right. But then I wouldn't be able to see your little hands working underneath. So
This is a good point.
once again, the official torque spec, good and snug,
Yeah, do that JDM.
versus balls ass retard gorilla tight.
Like, are we exacting? No, no, we're not.
As long as it doesn't fall out.
Just don't strip it out. Alright, and
Oh, nothing else. Gonna have new sensors in it. Wait for the snap.
indeed, that is kind of nice. These sensors a little click when you actually get them undone and popped in, like that.
Just like that.
All right.
Taking off this passenger side, we undid this piece, moved it out of the way to gain some more room. That was bolted in right here. And then this is our connector, this gray one that we're going to be undoing. To be honest, it's probably easier to just take out the sensor and then do it. But what we should do first is use a screwdriver and pop open this wire loom and push this wire out of the way. That'll give a lot more room to work.
Done with that. Where'd that wrench go? Where'd you get the wrench?
You set it right here, weirdo.
You set it there.
No,
That's
you did. I
crazy.
watched.
Dude, you're a hoodlum.
This car's never going to run again. Now it should just pull on it and wiggle and it should come out.
Indeed. There we go. Okay, I got it.
Told you.
All right. Here we go.
All right.
Got that bad boy there. Got a weird push thing on it.
Yeah. So it's like you'd think that it snaps downward, but it pushes forward and then the thing pulls out. Did you change them all out last time you changed these, or just one of them? Looking kind of sussy for someone who's changed them out, and that's the factory one coming out. When in doubt, just cut the Lars.
Bruh.
And be like, follow along for other bad advice.
Oh my god. There, we got it right there.
Yeah, exactly.
Press on it like so.
There we go. Mission accomplished. All
Yeah,
right, what's your 2 cents?
Yeah, make sure this thing clicks forward. When you press it down, it's got to go all the way in. OEM?
Are you sure?
China.
Yes. Oh, no,
OEM.
OEM. Import direct.
Taiwan or China.
That is supposedly the direct replacement. I mean, if you want it not to work, rub your dirty, filthy hands all over that thing multiple times. Yeah, that's guaranteed to not work. Like, plug it in first. It should plug right in. Don't throw the other one away yet.
Well, obviously. Obviously not. All right. There we go.
I assume it wasn't torqued down very tight when you pulled it out.
What was?
The bolt.
No. Indeed, it was not.
We'll use what we like to call good and snug for the torque.
And snug. Get the torque wrench. Unprofessional.
One thing about Nissans is torque specs seem to be a rarity with these cars.
Yeah, because people like me on them. RTV duct tape. That looks good to me.
I've replaced probably more parts on this car than you have.
It's living up to the JDM name, you know. Where a complete moron owns it.
It's a drift car that just hasn't drifted much.
Use your muscles.
Oh,
There we go.
Okay, that's
Locked
1 and 2.
in.
Now plug this back in too, because I unplugged that. It's right here.
Here, let me
plug it in first, doofus.
No, I'm gonna tighten it down. Dude, screw you. I'm over here, a slave.
Dude, it's your car.
Hey, whoa, chill out now.
Not only is it your car, I bought the stupid parts for it, though.
How dare you? I gave you money.
First I diagnosed it, then I bought the parts.
I gave you money. How dare you?
You gave me money for that flatbed that I had to use my own truck to tow this
Well, I didn't know you already
thing
bought the
80
parts.
miles home with.
I didn't know you bought the parts already.
All right, so we're starting phase 2 of this repair. So we changed the 2 camshaft position sensors. Car's still cranking, but it's not starting. But now we did realize that we're not getting RPM anymore on the tachometer. So that usually directly relates to the crankshaft position sensor. So we're gonna go underneath the car where work is already in progress. This car has got the Z1 Motorsports underpan on it. We did that when we did the rebuild of the car last fall. So we're gonna take that paneling off. And what we're looking for is right near the rack and pinion is where the, actually we're gonna need to take off this panel right here. It's gonna be underneath there. So the crankshaft position sensor is very similar to the camshaft in that it's held in by 110 millimeter, but is actually a lot easier to get to. So we'll get the small plastic panel off and it should be staring us in the face. And I figure if this doesn't work, we'll hold a $10 raffle for a really gamey, non-running 350Z. See if we can get a couple more subscribers to the channel, huh? Dude, what the hell is that? Like a dead bird in there? Jesus.
I don't know what that is. That's kind of gross, actually.
Maybe that's why it doesn't run. It's like, that's
what
just...
can I say?
I don't even...
Old.
I don't even know what to call that. Talk about the filthy, filthy streets. Jeez.
I told you she's the streetwalker, goddammit.
Oh my lord.
She's like one of those girls you see on the sidewalk and you're like...
You got the classics, dude. It's like if this car was a girl, it'd be named Methany.
That's terrible. She's just missing a few teeth here and there.
A few teeth and has an addiction. Oh my lord.
So we got our crankshaft position sensor right here. As you can see, nice and covered in stuff.
Bro, you're holding the camera upside down. People are gonna get sick to their tummies watching this.
I get sick to their tummies from this commentary.
Dude, this is such a 90-degree divergence from any other video I've made. Oh my lord, give me that. You're killing me.
We're doing cameos. Call it 2 retards with the car. Oh, this thing's not even sealed. That's why.
What's not sealed?
It's not even sealed in there.
What, the sensor?
Yeah, the sensor's missing an O-ring. You know what's crazy? This has been replaced before.
Really?
Yeah, because look, it's the same shitty one.
Oh yeah, you're right.
So is
You know what? I don't think
that
it's a.
messed up
Yeah,
the
it
Yeah,
pays,
so, okay, so the
it
new
pays
one's
to
like...
get OEM. I will say it pays
The
to
new
get
one's right
OEM.
next to you.
Alright, there we go.
So, we'll put the new one in.
Another garbage one.
And to be honest, we'll try cranking it before we even put the inner panel in back on.
Dude, your car is disgusting.
Yeah, I think I agree.
I'm just saying, dude.
Your car is a lot lizard named Methany.
Dude, I'm just saying this car would be putting Toyotas to shame.
This is like this is the 83 Camaro with Rod knocking a mullet. This is the JDM version. Well, if the new one has a gasket, that's going to be your seal.
There was also an aftermarket one too, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
it's
but
a
obviously the
Shittlebees.
car was running with that other one in it.
Crapplebee's brand.
Yeah.
There we go. Snug. Alright, let's see what we get.
Plug it in. This is my public service announcement to not always believe what the internet is like throwing out at you. So there's some good information as far as what to check. Usually these things turn out to be something more simple, such as a crank position sensor. This one had an aftermarket, so we did change it out. However, that didn't fix it as well. We know we need 3 things for this engine to work. We need spark, we need fuel, we need air. So we're like, you know what, let's take a look at the fuel side of it. Part of the reason why I did that is because I was not getting a set service engine light. So I took a look at the fuel pump. I wanted to see if it was running. Let me just say that the fuel pump was running. It would prime when I turned it on. So what does that tell me? It tells me that I'm getting voltage. However, that doesn't mean that the fuel pump is working properly. So here's my fuel pump in the Nissan Z. It is behind the passenger seat. You can hear it running. You can hear all the gas getting sucked through it. I'm about to put this back on. I did not make a how-to vid on how to do this. There's actually quite a few online. They're pretty old. They're short, they're cheesy, but you know what? These guys actually do a good job of explaining it. So I've concentrated on the cam and the crank position sensor in this video. People always catastrophize. They're like, oh my God, your computer died or this or that. Look at the simple stuff. This car has 150,000 miles. These fuel pumps average between 100 and 150,000 miles for lifespan. So why would it not maybe go out? Also, the filter is internal to the fuel pump. This is the fuel pump that we took out of the car. This is the entire assembly. My pump itself is right here on the side. It's in this sleeve. And then the filter sleeve is buried down in there. Well, the filter element itself is integrated internal to this bucket next to the pump. So if that filter gets clogged, the only way to truly fix it is to replace this whole assembly. And a lot of people, I think they fail to realize that. I actually went through Concept Z Performance. They have, for the America's 250th going on for the month of July, they had a sale on it, and I picked up the pump for $225 brand new factory. And that's everything. That's everything you see here. So install was super quick, maybe like 10 minutes. But once again, look at the simple stuff, okay? Billion things. There's people like, oh my God, check every ground in the car, hook up and look for like compression waveforms and timing stuff. Okay, that's cool, depending if everything else at this point fails. But in this case, start with the simple crap. I knew I had voltage to the pump. I could hear it run. It just sounded sickly. It would give a little whir and that'd be it. Which led me to believe it was either clogged or it was going the way of the dodo, and that's exactly what was going on. So that's my end of my video, my public service. So once again on Project 350Z today, we covered in depth how to change a camshaft position sensor, how to change a crankshaft position sensor, but more importantly, we're showing how to use the computer, in this case our Autel diagnostic computer, to look at the car, to see what's going on, and to think through it. Not the catastrophic thinking that people like to throw online, but think through it in a logical manner. Hey, what do I think's going on? Do I think I'm missing spark? Do I think I'm missing fuel? Or do I think I'm missing air? Because you need all three for the damn engine to run. In this case, based on the mileage, based on the fact the fuel pump is original, I was like, you know what? I think we're looking at fuel. I appreciate y'all for watching. Hopefully somebody found this useful if you're having an issue with that crank but won't start with your Nissan 350Z. If not, I hope you found it entertaining. So we have more projects coming up with both the 2026 Nissan Z that's behind me, as well as Project Tokyo Drift, our 350Z. So y'all stay tuned and we'll get back to you. Y'all take care.